All right, come on, Sweets. Come here.
All right, guys, and we're back again with another Whiskey and Wolves episode. As always, my name's Evan. I'm the master trainer over at K-Pro Canine Dog Training, and this is Chris Lamy with Canine Coaching for Chris. Fantastic, illustrious, and gorgeous trainer he is. And with him today is
Molly. Molly is one of my personal dogs. She is amazing. She is perfect in her own right. She is one of those dogs that took 3 years to learn something that most of my training dogs learn in 3 weeks. So she's a little special.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
What was that?
We've talked multiple times about the light bulb moment, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's my favorite part of training dogs. So I look for it.
Yeah.
Molly had her light bulb moment. And let me back up just a scotch.
Yeah.
Most dogs have their light bulb moments in a very specific time period when they're with me, anywhere between day 12 and 18.
Yeah, during training, right? Yeah.
Molly had her light bulb moment at maybe week 165 or so. She's just special. She's just special. So, we talked a little bit ago. Oh my God, she's perfect. Yeah. She's just perfectly her. She's perfectly Molly.
Love it.
So she's amazing.
That's fantastic. And so today, guys, like we've got Molly with us, and because we do, we thought that we would go ahead and tack on to last episode where we talked really specifically and all around the topic of bringing home baby, little kids, baby interaction back and forth. And today's topic is how do we get the whole family involved in training? And for that, like, I'm going to kick most of today over to Chris. Chris is actually like kind of an expert in this. Whenever I say he's actually kind of an expert, what I mean is he's a definitive expert in families and dogs and how to integrate them best. I read his book that's still in manuscript on this very subject and learned things.
Thank you.
For myself after 27 years of being involved in dog training, one shape or form or another. Like, man, I've just been enthralled.
Thank you very much.
And so, but before we get into that topic today, we have a favorite.
This is my jam. And guys and girls, whiskey are wolves.
I think guys is unisex.
Are wolves.
Are wolves.
Yeah, are wolves. If you have watched our episodes previously, you have seen this bottle before, Maker's Mark. Maker's is special to me. Yeah, we have the 46 up here. Maker's is really special to me. It's not just because of the cool wax thing on top, which is awesome. Have you ever seen them do it? It's cool.
Yep.
But it is a B corporation. And I'm going to nerd out yet again.
Get it, dude.
This is a thing that's really, really important to me as a human.
Well, you nerd out. Can I open the bottle?
Please pour me. Yes. So a B corporation, and there are multiple B corporations out there. Trader Joe's, Patagonia, I believe, is one of them. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyway, so. B corporation is opposed to a C corporation. So a C corporation is your Walmart, your McDonald's, anything that's publicly traded, anything that has stockholders is a C corporation. So, and here's why this is important, and stick with me, guys. I know we're not talking about wolves, but a C corporation, take Walmart, for example. Their only job by law is to make money for their share profits, for their shareholders. Period. That is the only thing that they are allowed to do. And if they make decisions that are not based on making money for their shareholders, not their employees, their shareholders, then they will literally get sued and will end up having to pay millions of dollars based on those decisions. Okay. Now, a B corporation, as opposed to that C corporation, you can only become a B corporation if you are admitted in by the B corporation movement, I think is what it's called. And to be admitted into a B corporation, you have to show a certain gravity towards caring about your employees, caring about the environment, recycling, making sure that things are ethically produced and ethically gotten rid of, right? Every company has waste.
Yeah.
What do you do with that waste? To become a B corporation, you have to show that you get rid of that waste in a productive way that's good for the environment. So they have these regulations, and I probably should have looked it up before we got on here so I could have a little more to talk about them, but they have these criteria that you have to meet to be able to be considered a B corporation, all of which are focused on bettering humanity and the earth rather than making money for their shareholders. And I think this is especially important today, right? We're not going to get into politics or into what's happening in society today, but if we really want to make a difference, money talks.
Yeah.
Spend your money where you want to spend your money, and by spending your money ethically on B corporations, you're sending a message to society at large. I like to think that where we spend our money matters. Not to mention, it's delicious and it's very smooth, and the price point is beautiful. I think this bottle was $32.
Oh, I love that.
So it's not like you're sacrificing cost or quality, and yet you're doing something good for the environment and hopefully for our society.
Brother, I love it. Cheers, man. I've just been playing with
Thank y'all for listening.
I'm going to tell you this, guys. Like, having a wolf in here with us, man, that makes me happy.
Especially one as beautiful as Molly.
I'll tell you guys, that never disappoints. Always pretty consistent. Fantastic.
Love it.
Thank you, makers, for being a B Corp and caring about something other than just money.
Absolutely.
Profit's not a dirty word, and we don't think that, but like, take it for what it is, guys. There's something to being ethically responsible. And here at Whiskey and Wolves, man, we're all about that. It's pretty much all we talk about is how are we ethically responsible for the animals that we have and keep, and how do we interact with them?
Well, and what's your favorite saying that I love about you so much?
Oh, we do all the good we can in all the ways we can for as long as we ever can.
Absolutely. That is
John Wesley.
Core of this.
Yeah, man.
No, let's jump into this.
Let's get it, dude. So tell me this, man. Like, you have like written this awesome book that extensively goes into how to get the whole family involved, right? So tell me, where does that start for you?
Yeah, this is again a really, really important topic, as you've said. I care enough about it that I wrote a book about it, and I talked to every one of my clients about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons this is important, and so we're going to kind of flush them out as this 45 minutes hour goes on. But what's really important is a dog is only going to behave for you if you spend time building a relationship with that dog, right? Your dog is only going to listen to Heather if Heather spends time with that dog. And so, and that is kind of the overarching theme of why it is important to get your entire family involved. We also talked last week, and we're going to continue that conversation, about how dogs view babies, right? And how dogs view young children, how dogs view teenagers and as they grow up. But what happens when you have an uncle move in or a grandmother move in or something like that, right? You almost had your mom move in for a little bit, right? Dad comes to live with you for a little while. How does that change the dynamic of the house? Is that dog going to listen? Is it going to be upset? All of these things kind of play a part.
Yeah.
One of the most important things that I think before we even start this discussion is set some proper expectations, right? When you have a 9-year-old child, you're going to expect certain things from that child. You're going to keep your room clean. You're going to brush your teeth. You're going to help me do the dishes, right? But there's certain things I'm also not going to expect from you just because you're only 9 years old. Whereas 15 years old, those expectations are going to bump up a little bit. The same thing is true for your dog. Making your dog's activities a family event and making sure that everybody is involved, one, is going to give your dog more activity, because if you're living in a household of 4, that means that dog is getting 4 times to interact. Also, everybody brings something different to the table. Yeah. You're not going to play with your dog in the same way that Gabe will.
That's right.
So your dog is going to get a different type of stimulus and a different type of engagement.
Yeah.
And let's not forget the fact that your family in your dog's eyes is a pack.
Yeah,
right. And so
family.
Right. It's your family. It's their pack. And so in as a pack animal and their pack dynamics, it's important to have a relationship with every member of the family. And if one of those members of the family are not pulling their part, not doing their part, not spending time with that dog, one, the dog's just not going to listen to them. And 2, they're not going to feel connected to them. And not that I think it could lead to anything bad, but you're missing out on an opportunity for your dog and the kid. Please.
Can I inject a curiosity in the individual experience, right? Like you've talked pretty well about like how, and I've heard you talk about this a ton, like how important it is that every member of the family. I wonder, this has always been a wonder for me, and I want to know what your opinion is on this. How much do you think individual body language counts?
100%. Dogs are experts, and we can have a whole episode on this, right? Dogs are absolute experts at body language.
Yeah.
They are absolute experts. That's how they communicate. When you're watching dogs play, they're not just playing, they're communicating. And every ear twitch matters. Every tail flip matters. Yeah. Whether they flip to the side or go head on, all of these things matter. So they're not just staring at dogs in that manner. They stare at us at this manner. And if we're not careful, dogs are very good at training us because they can memorize so much about what we do, right? Both our body language, our tone of voice, our facial expressions. Yeah. Dogs I think they can learn about 150 facial expressions and memorize them. Like that, yeah. And they will learn everything about you based on your body language. And this is something that I find very interesting, and I talk a lot about.
There went the whiskey balls.
Molly, this is why we don't have nice things, baby.
I'll rescue them. Keep answering the question.
Shoot, what was I saying? This is one of the more important things that I enjoy talking about. And it's interesting to me. Sorry, I got back on track. It's interesting to me that like we both train a vocabulary. I train a 16-word vocabulary. You train your dogs to learn a certain vocabulary, and we use our vocabulary to train these dogs because that's how we communicate.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Dogs do not communicate verbally. Well, they do. They bark and they howl and stuff like that, but that's not how they primarily communicate. They communicate using their body. Yeah. And so since that's how they're used to communicating, they are experts at it while we kind of tend to forget about it.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just second nature to us. And so we don't think about leveraging it.
Right. And as trainers, we do leverage it. We absolutely do. And it's I'm positive part of what you teach your dog trainers is watch what is your body saying to your dog that your dog is listening to that you're not actually saying.
It's like the most important thing I teach.
It is one of the most important parts of training a dog, right? Because they're going to listen to your body way more than they listen to your words.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the individual is interesting, right? And so like if you don't give, and I guess this is my point, right? Is like I think what you're saying is if you don't give individual access to the dog that is isolated access to learn body language, say mom's body language is different from dad's body language. And we often hear that mom and dad don't get listened to at the same rate. You know, I have wives that call me and go, he only listens to my husband. I
hear that all the time.
He only listens to my wife. You know what I mean? It's like, really? Like, are you spending time with the dog? Are you giving them access to you?
And I think there's two things there. One, you already hit on it. Are you spending time with your dog?
Yeah.
Or are you just expecting it to listen? Because that's a major problem that we see, right?
That's a big difference.
We've talked about this a lot in that, like, we kind of expect more from our dogs than we really should. We expect them just to know without going through that teach, train, proof process. That process is important. We don't do that just because we like it. It's important for a dog, right? And so if you're not doing that, if you're not giving your dog guidance and structure and love and mutual trust and mutual respect, no, they're not going to listen to you. The second part of that, and I don't mean this to come across as offensive in any way to anyone, but societally speaking, men carry themselves differently than women do. Period. Sure. Our tone of voice is different. Our mannerisms are different. Our body postures are different based on just being male and female, based on how we have been trained or brought up in our society. There are differences in male and female, and mom and dad. And in a dog's mind, right, the way a man carries himself, the deepness of a voice, the almost scowl that men have that women usually don't, all of those things are more reminiscent of leadership than the general female qualities of softness and caring and softness, right? Those traits are not seen as leadership traits. Not that they don't love the mom or respect the mom or listen to the mom any out of anything wrong or spite, but it's just how are you portraying yourself with your body language and with your tone of voice and with your facial expressions, because that's what your dog is looking at and picking up on. And so intrinsically, females are a little bit of a disadvantage, I think, and not insurmountable, not bad, but you are at a slight disadvantage because dogs don't naturally look to you as a leader or look to women as a leader because of these natural traits that women have as opposed to men.
Sure.
Now, am I saying that women don't make good trainers? Absolutely not. No, can mom not train your dog? Absolutely not. Yes, she can. Absolutely. Just understand what your dog is seeing and perceiving based on who you are as a person.
Right. And does that mean that like, hey, I've got to put on a persona to train a dog?
Great question. Yeah. Don't be an alpha. right? We've talked about that. You don't go in there and like, I gotta be the alpha.
You know what I mean?
No, you don't necessarily. There's a big difference between like, hey, come here versus, hey, baby, come here.
Yeah.
Right? Those little bitty things. There may be a time where you need to like kind of puff up and show that like, hey, I mean this.
Yeah.
But it doesn't again, you don't need to pretend to be the alpha.
Yeah,
and if you're being mean, if you're just being mean, like if you can step back objectively and look like, oh, that was rude, that was mean, your dog's not going to listen to you.
Right.
Because all of those things that like, we both get angry.
Everybody does.
Everybody gets angry, right? We have tempers. We're military. We have all these things, right? I lose my temper sometimes. My dogs don't listen to shit, right? They pick up on that energy and like, I don't want to go near that.
Dip out.
Right? You're usually a whole lot of fun. Like, call me when you're fun.
Yeah, call me when you're fun.
And like,
dude, that should be a thing that we normalize saying to our friends, bro, just call me when you're fun.
That's a t-shirt. But there's when I get angry, and I am actively trying to like consciously recognize some of these things, right?
Yeah.
Listen to Eckhart Tolle. Have you ever listened to him? New World? Love it. We'll talk about it. But anyway, I'm trying to consciously recognize some of these things. When I get angry, it's not just like, oh, I'm angry. Everything changes. Your entire the word just lost me. Your entire physiological being changes. Your face changes. Like I can always feel like I'm telling myself all the time, like, bro, fix your face. Like you're scowling for no reason.
Yeah.
And your dogs pick up on all that. They pick up on energy, not to mention they can probably smell it, right? Like dogs can smell fear. You would agree?
Yeah. So
I
in
would
a real sense.
in a very real way.
The ability to like check in on our pheromones every moment that they're around us.
Right. And so it begs the question, or to me, it's not even a question. I think it's accurate. If they can smell fear, they can probably smell anger.
Absolutely. So I think they smell stress in general.
Stress may be a better way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they smell stress in general, right? So like we know that, you know, like it can take up to 7 hours for stress to metabolize out of our corpus callosum once it's, you know, expelled there, you know, or you know, like excreted by the brain. And so like when we realize that, and we realize that that actually shapes the way that our body sweats, it shapes the way that we smell, you know, like all those things. And we've talked about this on the show before, where it's like, yeah, you know, how you smell makes a difference to a dog. And I don't mean like your own personal.
It's not cologne, right? Yeah.
Right? Not your own personal body odor or what soap you use, right? It could, but like really it's about like what your hormones and pheromones are telling the dog.
And what's your like sign off line?
Oh, train happy.
Exactly. Yeah. You're exactly right.
Train happy.
If you're angry, just don't train right now.
Yep.
Right? Because your dog's gonna not benefit from it.
Yep. I say that on at the end of every session one ever.
Train happy.
Hey, listen, guys, like seriously, you know, like you guys are gonna hear me say this 100 times. Please train happy. If you're frustrated for any reason, this isn't going well, just put the dog away.
Yep.
Or go back, like, you know, figure it out another time. Call me, let's work through it. But don't stand out there angry going, I'm going to make this dog do this.
You're just going to be disappointed. Happen, right? Yep, 100%.
So that's awesome. Let me ask you another question, because like this rides on my brain a bunch, right? So like we get a bunch of, hey, you know, like my 15-year-old, I got this dog for my 15-year-old. It's really his dog. You know, like how do I really kind of help that be more true than it often is?
I think first, I think we have to go back to what I said like initially. Sure. Set realistic expectations.
Yeah.
Right. Gabe's 15.
He is.
Right?
15,
Gabe turned 15 last week. He is perfectly capable of managing his own dog. I would assume.
I hope
from the little bit that I know him. There are other
manages a bunch of working dogs for me. I can tell you.
There are other, and he has experience, and he has the mental clarity, and like he's with it.
Yeah.
Right. There are other 15-year-olds that are still growing up.
Yeah.
And still don't have the type of mental recognition and mental cognition that Gabe does.
Yeah.
And so
especially with dogs, right? Because that's its
particular to dogs, right?
Yeah.
And you may ask, like, well, how do you know if it's going to be with dogs? Can your kid communicate? Can your kid articulate certain things? Do they have a little bit of patience, or do they fly off the handle at every little thing? Right? Yeah. Know your kid before you get them a dog, and understand that, like, okay, I'm not getting this dog so that my kid changes.
Right.
No, it's not going to happen. I tell this is kind of related to, like, if you go get a Malinois so that you start exercising, oh boy, did you mess up. It's not going to happen. You're just going to get frustrated. So it's the same thing. If you get your 14 or 15-year-old a dog so that they mature and so that they become responsible, boy, you have a dog now.
Yeah.
You now a dog,
right?
But if you do have that 15-year-old like Gabe, who is mentally capable and physically capable of doing this, I think 15 is probably a solid age. Again, subjectively
Would you say
or objectively,
with consent from the kid as well? Like, hey, this.
Oh,
needs to
for
be like,
sure.
yeah, it's not. And you said something that I want to point out, right? Like, it's not like, hey, I am burdened this child with this thing to make them grow. Right? Like, that's a bad idea. We don't, that's not getting the whole family involved in dog training. That's punishing a child with the addition of something that's innocent.
Yes.
And then the big loser there ends up the dog often, right?
Yes, because mom and dad are like, well, I don't want a dog, but if you want it, I'll get a dog for you, but it's your responsibility. And if that kid isn't capable of it, it's going to fall on mom and dad. And if mom and dad are just like, no, I told you no, I don't want it, then yes, you're right. The dog suffers.
Are there specific training ideas that I can do with my 15-year-old that are going to make him better?
Okay, so now we're kind of turning the conversation.
Yeah.
A dog might potentially, depending on your kid, might be the best thing you could do for your 15-year-old, 16-year-old.
Okay, say why, man. I'm interested in
It
that.
teaches patience. It teaches like you have to look outside of your own perspective, which for a teenager is almost impossible.
Yeah.
It teaches them compassion. It teaches them different learning styles. It teaches them all of the things that like we live every day. But for a teenager, those are really, really important traits to be able to integrate into your growing self. Let's just focus on patience.
Yeah.
Right? Patience may be my favorite word when it comes to dog training.
Yeah, I know, man.
Patience and consistency.
I watch your socials too.
So patience and consistency. If your 15-year-old can practice patience and consistency, oh boy, you're setting them up for things that you may not even understand yet.
That's like the 1 cookie, 2 cookie thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like
1 cookie now, 2 cookies later.
Yeah, like there's that
smart.
predictor. Yeah, I know you, buddy. But there's that predictor for the ability for like impulse control predicts success. If you look at a kid and you put a cookie in front of them and say, hey, you can have this cookie right now, no sweat, free, you can have it. But if you wait 5 minutes, I'll give you 2. Some kids will eat the cookie because like I'm not sure about the other adults around me, and I'm not sure if I trust the setup. And like they said, I could have this cookie right here. I don't see another cookie, right? So I'm gonna eat that cookie. But the kids who go, I'm gonna give this a shot, no risk, no reward, they get another cookie.
Yeah.
Right. That amount of patience is and impulse control is research kind of a predictor for success. And it is the same thing that we're looking for a lot of times with teenagers that can manage dogs, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting that you just mentioned also the amount of trust in the adults as a factor. That is one of the ones that I saw later on about that study.
Yeah.
That doesn't get brought up as often, but I thought was really interesting that kids who don't trust adults and who just haven't had the lived experience to be able to have built trust with the adults in their life, don't trust that second cookie is coming.
Heather from the top rope, right?
Goodness gracious. That was amazing.
Yeah, take this for what it is, from the top rope, right? She comes in and she goes, dude, if you're Mr. Promise to your kids, hey, we're going to do that, I promise. We're going to do that, I promise. We're going to do that, I promise. And it never happens.
They lose trust.
They're eating the freaking cookie when it's presented to them because they're like, well, it's here now. I've been promised before.
Yeah.
So don't do that to your kids also. Like, do what you say you're going to do. Be a person of your word. But also, like, that's a fair idea, right? Is that patience is a great predictor for and a possible leverage point for helping integrate kids and dogs.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it goes kind of both ways. You can, before you decide to get your kid a dog, are they patient enough to do this?
Sure.
But then also, you're going to have to learn patience if you have a dog.
Yeah.
If you want to do it the right way, right?
Yeah, I think
you're gonna have to. And so it is a really, really. I love. Like I had my first dog, like my personal first dog, Sonny, at 16 years old. Brought him home, and my parents were pissed. but I was able to keep him. And that dog taught me so much. And I did take care of that dog in the way I was supposed to. And it taught me a ton about life, about animals, about caring for other creatures.
All the things.
But as a teenager, I mean, I really think that like going through high school, going through college, it's just learning the skills that are going to serve you when you are an adult.
Yeah.
And so if you can give your kid an opportunity to learn patience and learn consistency and learn empathy and learn compassion and learn all these things from another creature, literally our best friend, our companion.
Yeah.
I think there's immense benefit. Molly, please leave that camera alone, baby. Thank you very much. I love you.
It's looking at us, baby.
You're perfect.
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me, bro? You're perfect. She sits down next to you like a statue.
I love her.
You joking me?
So I train dogs outside of my...
You're not a dog trainer, are you?
I train my dogs, like my training dogs, I train out in the front yard usually. And Molly will get to go out in the backyard because she can have some off-leash privileges. If Dad is out front and Molly is out back, she's fine at Dad.
Come on, let's go.
And let's, I know this is way off topic about what we're talking about, but I love it so much. Last week I was standing on like this part of my yard. We have a big backyard, kind of like y'all do here, right? And I saw Molly come around the corner and she threw her nose up and she entered a scent pattern that all of my military working dog buddies would have just done that over. It was beautiful. So a scent pattern, for those of you who don't know, when a scent is the camera, right? If the scent is coming from a camera, it's going to go out this way, right? Based on the wind, especially if the wind is coming this way, right? It's going to go in a cone. And so when you're working a dog, you can watch them follow that scent cone and it gets narrower and narrower and narrower until they're like, got it. And so she was 150 yards away from me. And I swear I saw this dog and she got about here and saw me and just...
There he is.
It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, right? Usually when I saw that in my past, it was a dog finding a bomb. I'm like, okay, all right, butthole's puckering up. But with Molly, it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And she's perfect.
Yeah, she's great.
Sorry, I don't know why I got on that tangent. But
so solid. So that's like a great way, like, hey, getting in here, like teaching some skills to a kid, giving them some responsibility, asking them for some extra patience. Those are freaking awesome integrations.
And what other job do we have as a parent, right? Than to teach all of those things that you just said. And so here I want to stop and pivot for just a second.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between teaching or being taught and learning and allowing to learn. Okay? Kids, humans, and dogs are capable of both.
Yeah.
So if I say, Molly, come here, sit, focus. And hey, by the way, every time I stop on a leash walk, I want you to come back and sit and focus before we move forward. All right, that's essentially the idea of my leash walking game.
Yeah.
Is if I stop for whatever reason, we're not moving again until you come back, sit, and focus. So I can teach her and tell her that, or I can allow her to learn, free shaping.
Yeah.
Essentially, right? Kids are the same way. So you give that kid a dog and you allow them to learn. Now let's think about what happens in a brain when you're being taught versus learning. Which one sticks more? Do you think?
Learning. Yeah.
100%.
Because I figured it out for me.
What's that?
Because I figured it out.
You just learned. Yeah. Where this is proof. Absolutely.
Because I figured it out for me, bro.
But it's activating different parts of the brain, and both are important, right? You do need to teach your dog. We talked about that. You're going to teach your dog. You're going to train your dog. You can also allow them to learn. Let them figure it out on their own. Dogs are problem solvers, right? Dogs are scavengers by nature.
Yeah.
They are. If you go back in their history, they're scavengers. That's how this whole relationship started.
Yep.
So as a scavenger, that is the same thing as problem solving, right? Oh, I smell something. How do I get to it? Oh, let me dig. So by allowing your dog or your son or daughter to figure this out and to learn and to problem solve, you're engaging different parts of their brain. And at the same time, teaching them the things that you just mentioned that we are all attempting to teach our kids.
Right. Do you think that there's like a leadership dynamic that plays in here as well?
100%. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the words that I guess I missed out on instead of patience. All that leadership is equally as important, right? Because Molly and I are a team.
I agree.
When I go out somewhere, we are a team.
I've seen.
We're going to walk together. We're only going to go somewhere that we are going to go together. But I am the leader of that relationship, in the same way that I'm the leader of the relationship with my daughters. Yes, you have all the freedom to do what you want to do and live the life you want to live, but I am the leader of this relationship. Right. And if I have to set the boundaries, then I will. For a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 14-year-old that can do that can set boundaries and consistently enforce them, that is teaching leadership skills.
I agree. Now, let me ask you a good question this way too, right? So like, I think we've covered the teen thing and integrations there pretty well. Let's move on and let me ask this question. What do we do with the client, right, who hires us and we engage with one but not both of the couple most often, and the second person in that couple, whether it's just whoever it is, the partner of that person, right, is funneling complaints, right, about the dog not listening after it's been to training through the client that's been to every session with us and has proof of training and knows what's going on. What do we do in a situation like that?
Are you talking about the spare human?
I am talking about the husband or wife that's not showing up to training.
The spare spouse. I like that.
The spare
spouse. Yeah, I like that. And honestly, you may be able to answer this question better because you do more in-home lessons than I do. Most of my interactions are like 2 hours at the end.
Yeah, but I'm curious what you would do. I can answer that if you want me to.
Yeah, no. I think it's a great question because it's extremely relevant. And just like we said at the beginning, your dog's not going to listen to you because they listen to your spouse.
Right.
They're not. It's relationship focused. What I started calling the big three: trust, respect, love. All dogs have to trust you, respect you.
I love that.
And love you. Isn't that awesome? I told you I was smart.
That. I know you're smart, but dude, I immediately love that. The big three. I'm keeping that.
Trust, respect, and love.
I steal that one.
Love is easy.
Yeah,
dogs will love anyone that even if you abuse a dog, they're still going to love you, right? And that's it is what it is. So love is easy. Trust and respect, right? How do you build trust? How do you build respect?
I have an answer to how to build trust.
What's yours?
All right, here's my answer to how to build trust. In order for trust to occur between any two entities on the globe, right? This is really important for me, right? In order for trust to occur between any two entities on the globe, they have to be able to witness good choices in repeated fashion in each other, right? So like, for instance, we're friends because whenever I call you and I go, hey man, I got stuff, you go, I'm here. And when you call me and you go, hey man, like, can you make time for me on blah, 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 blah day, right? I go, let me move some things around, right? I show a preferential desire to be in community with you, which is a good choice on my part from your perspective. Same in the other direction. And that's the beginning of the essence of trust.
I like that. And I think it plays really well between our human relationships. But as we've talked about, dogs don't have like the good, bad, they don't know right from wrong.
Right.
I'll say it a different way, almost the exact same thing that you're saying.
Yeah.
Say what you mean and mean what you say.
Come on.
Right? If you say what you mean and mean what you say, then your dog knows, just like we were talking about earlier with those kids, right? Yep. Hey, I'm going to give you a second cookie. I'm going to give you a second cookie. If that second cookie never comes, you're eroding trust.
Yeah.
So mean what you say and say what you mean. Respect. This one's a little trickier, I think, especially if we're dealing with kids, especially if we're dealing with that. What did you call them, Heather? Spare spouse?
The spare human.
The spare human. If you're not spending time with them, you're not going to build, one, the trust because they don't spend time with you, but they're also not going to really respect you. Yeah. And respect is a big word, right? Like, respect is a big word, but
especially here in the South, right?
Especially here in the South, especially for men, right? All of the things. But take a step back from what we think it means and what does it mean to a dog?
Sure.
Respect for a dog is something completely different. And that kind of, to me, it goes back to a lot of things, a few things. But the mean what you say and say what you mean, like, I trust that you're going to do this and I respect you because of this.
Right.
Also, for me, I give my dogs every single thing that they need. Need, want. Two very different things.
Yeah.
What does your dog need?
Sure.
we can go into Maslow, we can go into like what dogs actually need, but I know that my dogs are getting every single thing that they need from me. Now there are boundaries on that,
Sure,
but that builds a respect.
yeah,
Right. And there's a lot of ways that you can build respect, but going back to your initial question, the big three: trust, respect, love. Every interaction from every human, because dogs learn through association, right?
Yeah,
they have an associative nature of how they learn. Think of Ivan Pavlov and classical conditioning.
Yep.
So if Molly associates me with rules and with structure and with guidance and with nope, we stop at doorways and we do this and we do this, but she associates her mother with I get to do whatever I want.
Yep.
Then when I'm gone, she's going to do whatever she wants.
Yep.
Period. It doesn't matter how well I have trained her. If she associates that time with her mother as I can get away with whatever I want, she's going to get away with whatever we want. And they're experts at training and at getting what they want.
So one of the things that I think regularly is that vocabulary between humans and dogs is individual. Let me give you a good for instance.
Yeah, it's subjective. It's individual. Yeah.
Let me give you a good for instance, right? My dog Ghost, right? Belgian Malinois, fantastic dog, does lots of great things for me, right? There was about a year ago, we went to do a AKC Fast Cat event, right? Where like my dog gets to chase the lure down the field.
Yeah. I've still never been to one of those. I need to go with you.
It's super, super fun. I'm going to drag you out to the next golf port race, right?
Are there people there?
Like us. There are people there like us.
Okay, all right.
So I know dogs better than people. I get it. But like one of the other things that was happening there that day was an AKC cluster. And one of the things that they were offering for the first time was AKC Fetch, which is a title sport now with AKC, how you fetch and why you fetch. I don't play fetch with that dog. My wife, on the other hand, walked out and titled that dog. Not at the base level, but like at the intermediate level.
That's awesome.
Like 2-3 steps up. Like you titled that dog that day because she plays fetch with that dog with rules. And like, I just don't play fetch with the dog. It's her side of the house, right? And so like her vocabulary with that dog in the game of fetch was like titleable competition.
That's badass.
Level, right? Competition level. And I'm like, okay, miss, I'm not a trainer. You just titled the dog. Say it again, right?
That's awesome.
She's like, no, okay, right? But like the reality of the situation is that, yeah, like even in those relationships, we can have differences in relationship even in the same household. That dog doesn't respond to me in fetch the same way that she responds to Heather. When Heather sets the rules down in fetch, that dog's like, I'm on it, Ma.
And that's a really, really great point of everything we've been talking about, right?
Yeah.
You are a dog trainer. You're a professional. You're great at this. Your dog won't play, not that he won't play fetch with you, but he doesn't play fetch with you the way that he does with her.
Yeah, it's
right?
not clean
It's because
fetch.
you haven't spent the time.
Right. I don't do it. So she doesn't do it. Now, bite work, that dog wrecks fools for me.
Right.
Right? You know, Heather's like, I'm never doing that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never going to be on the backside of the dog doing that.
Show them your arm. Yeah, I can see your arms on bruised down. I don't know, y'all can see them.
But like, no kidding, right? Like, that's just to illustrate how important it is that everybody do that and really get involved in the training. I tell people all the time, like, we're not marriage counselors. I can't make your wife or your husband, you know, or your significant other, like, just love that dog. I can't make them like it at the same level as you. I can't make them have the relationship you can. However, what I can tell you, right, is that if they don't put in on this, they're not going to get out of this. You know what I mean?
Put out, they're not going to put out.
I mean, you said it. So, but like the reality of the situation though is, right, is like that's still kind of like a leadership dynamic in the house, right? Where like we're helping the pack members kind of fit together in a hierarchy, right? And I think it's important that we do that. My last big point in this particular topic for the day is like coming up. Did you have something to say right there before I
do? I want to take a little pivot, and hopefully this will be quick. Are you growling?
She's grumbling over there.
What is wrong with you?
What are we grumbling at, Mom? Is Heather being creepy?
Hey, please stop. Thank you. It's like an alarm clock.
I know, right? The snooze button, bro.
You mentioned fetch and structured fetch.
Yeah.
Right? Let's take a little caveat here and talk specifically. Your kids, right? If you're 15-year-old kids, your 9-year-old kids, your 20-year-old kids, whatever.
Yeah.
You don't have to go out there and put them on leash and start doing dog training.
Right.
Go out and play fetch.
Yeah.
Right? Go out and play a game. Dogs, well, the book that I wrote and like most of my program is based on teaching dogs and training dogs through games, such as fetch and such as red light, green light.
She's so in her feelings.
She's hilarious.
I don't know what's going on. Maybe Heather's just kind of creeping around back there trying to give us cues. I don't know, but like she's creeped out. Dude, it's great.
Molly's in her own little world.
Yeah, man.
Molly, you good, baby?
Seems like it.
Hey, you good? Okay. I love you.
All right.
But teaching dogs through games.
Agreed.
Like, especially a 15-year-old, right?
Part of your book.
It is. And I think, to me, it's like the crux of the book and it's a crux of the idea of kind of my training philosophy.
Yeah.
Why? Because dogs are always playing games. They're always just having fun. That's all they want to do is have fun. So if you can go out there and teach them to have fun in a structured way, such as playing Monopoly, right? If we all sit down and play Monopoly, that game's going to suck if we're not playing by the rules.
Yeah, because we're not friends anymore.
Right. That table is getting flipped. Like people are going to get angry. Like, so there has to be some structure to that game in order for it to be fun. Fetch is the same way. And you can teach your dog, leave it. You can teach your dog here. You can teach your dog, go get it, find it, seek. All of these things by using a game that they enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And so when we're talking about all this stuff, I'm not talking about getting your 15-year-old kid a dog and be like, all right, get out there and go do training. No. Be intentful, our favorite word, right? Be intentful and go out there and have fun, but in a structured way.
I agree. All right. Here's my last idea, because a lot of what we've said so far kind of hinges on this hierarchical idea in the house, right? Like who's in charge of what,
Sure.
what's going on, and how that works out. I get clients from now and then whose mom or dad moved in with them like in their retirement age, right? And one of the things that I think happens there often is that there's this leadership shift that happens in the house. Can you tell me a little bit about like when seniors move into a family home with an already existing family and a dog, like what are some of the struggles? What are some of the integrations? How does that dynamic usually work out?
So I'm gonna back off this a little bit. This is one particular situation that happens a lot, right? And like that's probably the most common, but it can be kind of vast. But to answer your question, what I'm going to say is like when things like that happen, when you have a sibling or a dad or anybody move in or somebody moves out, or you move from Long Beach, Mississippi to Madisonville, Louisiana, right? All of these things matter to your dog, and we don't give them credit for that. We don't. We're not understanding that this is a massive change in the environment that your dog finds itself in. We talked last time about a vacuum, right? Why dogs don't like vacuums, because it's changing the dynamic of the floor.
Yeah.
Adding another person completely changes the dynamics of your relationship in the household. And you may not feel it, and it may be rather natural to you because it's mom, it's dad, right? We love mom. We love mom. Everybody gets along together. That's why she's here.
Yep.
But it still changes the dynamic of how the household operates.
100%.
And so your dog picks up on that. And so first and foremost, what I will say is like, be a little patient with them because they don't understand why something feels different.
Right.
Dogs are very energetic creatures and they pick up on this energy, right? And so when your dog is picking up on this energy and acting in these weird ways, give them a little patience. And we talked earlier about like, how do we know when to move on? How do we know when to continue doing training? Right. This is one of those times where you may need to like take a little step back and be like, hey, let's revisit some of these things that you learned, but in the new environment that you find yourself in.
Right.
Right. Now
you might say that same thing like when you move houses, right?
Absolutely.
That's the other
1,000%.
Like, I watch dogs like go through huge amounts of fear and misunderstanding, right? Those big changes in the environment like are massively, massively important for us to understand like what's going on, when is it happening, what, like, again, dogs are associative and contextual, right? Mm-hmm. So like when mom and dad moves in and like all of a sudden who used to be mom and dad are now deferring to dad or mom that's over in the corner sitting in a chair.
Right.
What is going on here?
Right. And those are relationships that like say your mom or dad moved in here, right?
Yeah.
I don't think most people are like, okay, my dad raised me, so I have respect for him and I'm going to have to do this. We don't think about that.
Right.
That doesn't mean it's not happening.
100%.
Right? It is happening. And so you're right. Like there's a lot of just dynamic changes that your dog is picking up on.
Yeah.
And so be mindful of that. And then from there, again, it's a very objective thing where like, is mom or dad or aunt or uncle, whoever this person is, this new human coming in that's changing that dynamic, are they going to be involved with the dog? Are they going to be completely separate? Are they going to be home while everybody else is at work? Right. What is the role? And then from there, just like a teenager, set some expectations. Like, look, you're living with us. Like, I'd really like you to take the dog out. Yeah, I'd like you to take the dog out twice a day if you're comfortable with it. Like, these are the words she knows. This is how she behaves. And like, just start that.
Please don't feed them potato chips out of the bag.
Right. Like,
Please
start
don't share
that
food off your fork.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Like,
please don't bring your other dog home with it. Like, like there's all kinds of weird stuff that we encounter in private training. That's like, dude, you will tank the economy on this dog.
And that's why we talked earlier about like going into the home and be like, okay, what's happening here? Oh, okay, I see what's happening. The dog's not wrong.
Right.
She's thrown off because grandpa's over here feeding her chips on the couch all day while y'all are at work. No wonder she's not listening.
Listen.
Yeah.
Dog's my whole life. Don't worry.
Meanwhile, Molly's sitting on the couch munching on Snickers bars and Lay's potato chips. Like, fuck you. I don't have to listen to anything.
Right? Because
Pops has got me.
Because Pops has got me. Pops has all the goodies. Like, don't worry about me. Like,
and that completely changes the dynamic of of all the relationships. Like when a dog starts getting spoiled and entitled, and your dog can get spoiled and entitled. When they start getting entitled, treating your dog like a baby is one of the worst things you can do for them. Okay. Treating your dog like a baby is not, they don't see that as like being treated like a baby. They see it being treated like a king or queen. And so if your dog sits next to you on the couch and gets fed potato chips all day, and then you go and you bring them their food and you hand feed them and you put them in a cart and they get every single thing, they think they're a king or a queen of their surroundings.
Yeah.
So when you go to ask them something to do, you know what they're thinking? Why is my servant asking me to do something? Go pick up my shit, Linda.
Do not pertain to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So if you have another human being that comes in, mom, dad, uncle, whatever it is, that comes in and starts treating your dog that way, you're going to have some issues.
Yeah, 100%.
So in that situation, set some boundaries for them as well. Which,
I agree.
Which, good luck, right? I have parents. Good luck. But it's still a good idea.
Good luck.
Love you, mom and dad.
Man.
And I am trying not to drink as much. Hope you notice I love you.
Yeah, you've noticed. I know that you have because we're still here. But like, I'm going to say this, man. Like this last summer, like I'm hanging out with my dad, right? Like, and his dogs. And I'm like, wow, this is not great. And it's not that I don't think that they're actually great. In truth and honesty, I love it. But it's such a radically different culture than I have my dogs in. And it's not that his dogs don't have rules. His dogs have rules, but he makes concessions for them in places I would never, right? Like there's this whole other philosophy at play there. And so like for me, like that's the big thing, like for me that I'm always pushing people, like whenever like mom or dad or aunt and uncle, whoever that is that, like is moving in, right? Sister, brother moves in. Hey, listen, I know that you have a culture around dogs. This is ours. Like while we're here, could you with our dogs, right?
Yeah.
I don't tell my dad how to be with his dogs. I really don't. Tried it, failed, right? Don't tell my dad how to be with his dogs. My dad's a wonderful man, right? I've said it before on the podcast.
You talk about him very lovingly all the time.
Like, I love him, right? So like, I'm not telling that man what to do. You know what I mean? Like it's not my role in life. Tell my dad how to live his life, right? That's not my role. He asked me things. I go, well, this is what I would, and this is how I said, this is what I would tell a client, Dad. You know what I mean?
Here's what I would do. I don't know what you're going to do, but here's what I would do as a professional.
And then he'll go, and then like, he had this problem a couple years ago where like his dogs were causing some havoc, right? And like I gave him some things and he was like, that really worked, thanks. You know what I mean? But
don't say.
But I'm telling you, like cherry picks that stuff, right? I'm here for it, right? And that's the point, right? Is like, you've got to be open about the culture that you're in. You've got to be communicative in my mind for sure. Right?
Agreed.
anything else that we can say about involving family?
There's a million things we can, but no, I think we covered the basics. All right, it's all, again, dog training is so subjective, right? Like, just give your dog some grace.
Yeah.
One of my other favorite words.
They're toddlers.
Yeah, they're toddlers. Yeah. Give them the understanding. But hold boundaries.
Absolutely. All right, dude. Before we wrap this thing up today.
Yeah, we messed up.
We didn't mess up. We just put it in a different order. Buddy check time.
Yeah.
Dude. How are you been, bud?
I've been good, honestly. So this is odd because usually we hang out outside of this show, and in the last few months we have not been able to hang out.
Oh man, we've been busy.
But the reason is my life has gotten kind of slower in the best way imaginable, right? Like,
I don't want to disrupt your peace.
So I have been sprinting my entire life. I was oldest of 7 children. We had a childhood.
Yeah.
Foster kids. I had a brother that was run over by a car, right? Like I had a childhood.
Yep.
Had a kid at 20, joined the military, deployed to 5 war zones in 10 years, came straight out, went straight to law school, graduated law school, went straight into owning a business. I have not stopped. This is the first time in my life that I've been able to take a breath. And so it's been really nice just sitting in my backyard for hours at a time, just hanging out with dogs and not doing a damn thing.
Yeah, do it, bro.
And it's been nice.
Yeah.
So I apologize to my mom and dad, my sister, my brothers. I haven't talked to you all in a while. I hadn't talked to you in a while.
Bro.
But there's a reason. Like,
dude, you hugged me today and you were like, dude, I'm real sorry that we haven't been hanging out. Man, I even called my sister and apologized to her.
I did.
We haven't been hanging out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you never have to apologize for preserving your peace. Like, I told, what I tell you, I was like, bro, like, I'm the guy who's like, no news is good news. You know what I mean? And so, like, if you're floating,
I'm floating right now,
bro.
I'm floating. It's nice. It's not to say that it's easy.
No,
life's never easy. I don't think, but it's nice.
Yeah.
Yourself?
No, that's awesome. You know what, man? We've had a little bit of a turnaround here lately. I've gotten some help and in some various areas.
You look fantastic. You've lost some weight. Heather does as well. I know y'all can't see her. They are in fighting shape.
I think between the two of us, we lost like 50 pounds. But like, I mean, no kidding. It's really that's been a big blessing. It was intentional. It was purposeful. It was with a little extra help. It was what we needed, right? Like, we were both kind of plateaued at these weights that were uncomfortable on us, and we could not push through. And so, like, you know, we got some extra help with that, and like, man, has it been a game changer.
That's awesome.
Like, I'm sitting here, like, you know, at the end of last season, right? Like, we shot, and I was like 245.
I was gonna say, do you think your brother could put up a picture of like you then and you now?
Yeah,
like, there's a real difference.
You know, if you look at our early stuff, right? Yeah, if you look at our early stuff, like our really early stuff, right? Like,
and you're all clean shaven, like
all clean shaven, big old double chin hanging out. You know what I mean? Like, if you there was almost a thing where I wanted to shave this just so I could see my chin again and know whether or not it's double. But like, the reality is, I can't imagine that it is, because I went from almost 250 pounds and I'm sitting here today at like 210. Right. So like, I lost like 40 pounds, which is like putting down a bag of dog food and not picking it back up.
That's amazing. It just feels so much better.
And like, you know, what I'll tell you is so much of my athletic life, because, you know, like you pointed out earlier, I got, you know, I'm all beat up right now because I work in dog club, and I'm a decoy. So like, I'm in the suit and I'm catching dogs.
And that's work.
It is.
I don't know if you've ever seen it, ever done it. That is work.
It's athletic work, and it's a lot easier without carrying around a dog food bag on my shoulders. You know what I mean? So like, I'm moving faster. I'm more agile. I'll tell you too that business has been better than it has been in probably 5 months.
That's amazing.
The economy, as we know, in the United States right now is not doing well, and it is even harder for small business right now than it's in my experience of business ownership, at least in the last 8 years. It's harder now than it's ever been.
I can't imagine a time, you know, outside of the last 10 years, maybe not 100, but I can't imagine a time in the last 10, 15 years that it's been this tough.
No, and in my adult life, like, I can't remember a time when the economy's been this hard, right? And so, like, you know, I think I know, because my suppliers of gear and that kind of thing have shared with me that, hey, man, the tariffs have massively impacted what they're doing. Like most of the gear that we use in dog training is produced overseas. Things like Hermspringer and Starmark and Martingale collars.
They're all German products, right?
Like all these things come from somewhere else. Like some of them are produced in China, right? Like we've got big trade war with them going on. Nobody's talking about it, what's happening, right? Like all these things have added a lot of like extrinsic stressors into my life. And while I think I'm handling them pretty well, man, I have had some breakdown moments here in the last couple of months, man, where I'm like, I'm mad for no reason. Like I'm walking around like being just ugly for no reason. So like I have had some struggles, but I'll tell you that recently, I feel pretty good. You know what I mean? I feel pretty good. Like my hobbies are coming along just nicely, like this, like some of the stuff we do with like sport dog work for, like PSA, man, our little club that we've got, like it's like really cute, right? Like I love it.
That thing's not cute. That's badass.
I love it, right? Like I don't want to make it into something that it's not either, right? Like I'm not over here creating killers, right? Like I'm creating sport dogs. I don't think that it's the same thing as, creating, military law enforcement canines. Like some of the techniques are really similar, but the intent is entirely different. And so like that, the intention, right? Like
intentionality.
Word, right? That's a massive thing. But like, what I'll tell you is even that's had big strides forward. We've started to title some dogs out of that club. Like
that's awesome.
Really, really, really happy with where that's going. I've had some addition of some new friends in my life through that club that are like, yeah, man, you guys are great dog trainers. Really want to hang out, So like very blessed on that side. Personally, like, things between, my wife and I are pretty great. Things between my kid and I are pretty great. And so like, I think my overall takeaway coming in here, like through this first part of fall, and finishing out Q4 for the year, right, is that like things are good. The summer was rough, like rough in business. I mean, there were months we were doing half the sales that we normally do.
Summer's usually our busy time.
Yeah, but like, man, the American economy was it's tough, super suppressed this summer, right? So. I'm starting to see some of that come back around as we come into the holiday season, and things that are important to people during the holidays are still important. So, we're starting to pick back up. And man, I'm really, really excited about that. So I think overall, man, like I'm doing much better.
You know what it is? You got Deion Sanders.
Oh,
you ever heard his quote? You look good.
Yeah.
You look good.
Yeah.
You feel good.
Bro.
You feel good. You play good. You play good. You get paid good.
What?
You get paid good. You eat good.
Bro.
Or the way the Navy SEALs said it when I was with them.
You just like blew my holes there. Thank you, Deion Sanders, right? Like I need to put that on my mirror in the morning. Go ahead. Tell me what the Navy SEALs said. Bro.
Navy SEALs used to tell me all the time, like, look, 95% of our job is just looking badass. The rest of I swear to God, they did.
Dude, I got a good friend that's a former SEAL. I'm sure he would say
95% of my job is just looking badass. The rest of it just falls into place.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic.
And look, they did.
Bro,
they did.
I'm going to tell you, I've seen them operationally whenever I was in country too. And I'm like, I used to say this like to all my friends, dude, I was not a rock star. I was rock star adjacent. Like I helped some guys. Like I tagged onto some teams. I did some stuff that like I was not a rock star, but I was rock star adjacent.
Yep,
so, like,
same.
Some of those guys were super.
That was a pretty cool place to be. And one of my other favorite quotes that they said was PTSD is a realization that you'll never be this cool again.
Never be this cool again. All right. So, hey, look, guys, Wolves out there, thank you.
Thank you for the questions. We've got some really great questions.
One of the cool things that we've started to have this last month, man, is that we've got some shorts and some cuts of some of this content on TikTok and Reels and YouTube Shorts. Guys, check us out there too. Don't forget to smash those buttons, like, subscribe, and follow. And guys, we will catch you next time right here on Whiskey and Wolves. Train happy, and as always,
keep smiling. Absolutely.
Boom.
Say bye, Molly.
Bye, Molly.